In the world of ancient legends, few figures capture the imagination quite like the Queen of Sheba. The Queen of Sheba is primarily known through ancient texts. In the Bible, she appears in the first book of Kings and the Chronicles, where she famously visits King Solomon, bringing gifts of gold, spices, and precious stones. Solomon, son of David. His wisdom was renowned far and wide, a gift bestowed by God himself. When Solomon ascended to the throne, he was a young king with a daunting task: to lead a nation with justice and mercy. But instead of asking for wealth or power, Solomon prayed for wisdom to govern his people well. Pleased by his selfless request, God granted him unparalleled wisdom, as well as riches and honor beyond measure. One story that captures Solomon's greatness involves two women who came to him, each claiming to be the mother of the same child. Without any evidence or witness, it seemed impossible to resolve. But Solomon, with his divine insight, devised a test. He ordered the baby be cut in half so each woman could have a share. One woman cried out to stop, offering to give up her claim to save the child's life. Solomon then knew she was the true mother and returned the baby to her. Under his rule, Israel flourished, and people from distant lands like the Queen of Sheba journeyed to witness Solomon's wisdom and wealth. She questions Solomon with riddles, impressed by his wisdom and wealth, and is equally remembered for her own riches and grandeur. But what's remarkable is that she's not just a biblical figure. The Queen of Sheba also appears in the Quran, where she's known as Bilqis. In Islamic tradition, she is the ruler of a prosperous kingdom who, after hearing of Solomon's wisdom, acknowledges the power of God and becomes an early symbol of the fusion between wisdom and faith. She was a woman of unrivaled power and wealth, known for her beauty, intelligence, and leadership. But like many powerful figures in history, her story is fragmented. Told across continents and generations, she is as elusive as the sands of time. But what if I told you there's more to her tale than just a regal visit to King Solomon? What if, in her journey across the desert to meet the king, something unexpected happened? A meeting that wasn't just about wisdom, but about something far deeper? In the Bible, Sheba is known as a queen of exceptional wealth and wisdom. She travels to Jerusalem to meet King Solomon, seeking answers to her questions. Solomon, renowned for his wisdom, answers all her riddles, impressing her deeply. But beyond the riddles, the connection between these two great rulers goes far deeper. As the queen spent more time with Solomon, their interactions became more than mere exchanges of knowledge. There are whispers of a bond, something stronger than political alliance, something personal. As they exchanged words of wisdom, a quiet understanding passed between them. Solomon, a king who had mastered the art of rule, had found a match in Sheba. The queen, too, began to feel something stirring in her heart, a respect for the king that transcended his knowledge. And it wasn't just admiration, it was something deeper. Could it be that Sheba, in her own powerful and calculated world, had found herself falling in love with Solomon? It wasn't just Solomon's wisdom that captivated Sheba. The king's manner, his strength, and his calm presence seemed to speak to something within her that no treasure or kingdom ever had. As they spoke, their bond deepened. What started as a political and intellectual exchange became something more. Sheba, who had ruled over her own kingdom, was used to being in control. But Solomon's presence disarmed her in a way she hadn't expected. There was an undeniable spark, one that even Sheba, wise as she was, could not ignore. As the days passed, their interaction went beyond just the exchange of words. They would meet in the grand gardens of Solomon's palace, where he would show her his treasures and discuss the mysteries of the world. But something shifted. Solomon, the ruler of an entire kingdom, began to see something more in Sheba too. Her strength, her intelligence, and her beauty qualities that made her a queen in her own right had captured his heart. And though they may have started as two rulers of distant lands, by the end of their meeting, they were two souls caught in the same current of destiny. As the days turned to weeks, the queen's feelings for Solomon grew stronger. There are tales once whispered through time that speak of their growing affection for one another. Some stories even suggest that Solomon, in his wisdom, was able to capture Sheba's heart in ways no other man could. In the quiet of night, when the palace was still, the two would speak of their lands, their dreams, and their visions for the future. These conversations were more than mere politics. They were the start of something profoundly human, a connection between two hearts. And in this intimate setting, in the space between words and silence, something extraordinary happened. Sheba found herself drawn to Solomon in ways she had never anticipated. The queen, who had arrived with questions and a challenge, left with a heart full of answers, and perhaps love. This wasn't just a political alliance. This was the story of two people from distant lands, brought together by something beyond politics or power, a bond that transcended the throne and reached deep into the heart. But, as all stories go, the time came for Sheba to return to her kingdom. The visit had changed her, just as it had changed Solomon. The connection between them was undeniable, but the reality of their worlds set them apart. Solomon, with his riches and power, had given Sheba more than she had ever hoped for. And yet, she could not stay. She had a kingdom to rule, an empire to protect. As she left, she carried with her more than just jewels and riches. She carried a piece of Solomon's heart, and Solomon carried a piece of hers. But the deeper truth is this. The Queen of Sheba may have returned to her kingdom, but her heart remained with Solomon. Some legends tell us that their love continued, that Sheba visited Solomon again, or that their son, Menelik, was a living testament to their bond. The meeting between Sheba and Solomon was more than just a political encounter. It was a meeting of souls, and that, perhaps, is the most enduring part of their legacy. Was it love, or simply a powerful connection? The story of the Queen of Sheba and King Solomon continues to captivate us. It reminds us that even the greatest rulers can be vulnerable to the forces of attraction and love. What do you think? Was it more than just wisdom that brought them together? Let us know your thoughts below, and as always, stay curious.